because we are in the midst of a climate crisis that is raging as we are even in this auditorium. The first thing we must know that while we are in a climate crisis, that's very obvious. The second thing in that is that we are probably more in a crisis of imagination. Mm-hmm. And so we need to have this gathering point. So I want to talk about how do you hold the camera while you're crying by what you see? How do you hold the camera when you see the wildfire? How do you hold the camera when you see someone drown in the flood? How do you hold the camera when you see the 3-year-old in India, little boy drown himself because it's too hot outside? How do you hold the camera when Asheville, North Carolina is no longer here? How do you hold the camera when you're crying? I think that's what we're challenged with right now. And so this is a very serious moment, and I actually think that the only way we do that is by storytelling. I think this is the last rung, and I think for all of you here, you and you out there as directors and actors and thespians and showrunners, you have somehow been called in this 21st century, not just to fight for equality, happy Pride Month, but you've been forced to fight for a moment of fighting for existence. So let me talk about bridge building. We are right now, because we have folks who are in industries whose business plan is a death sentence for us. They are putting forth plastic, where we are now consuming a credit card size worth of plastic every single week. It's in our placenta, it's in our bloodstream, it's in our brains, it's in our babies. But the way that we can build a bridge is that it's the one thing that both Republicans and Democrats seem to both hate. Climate is a culture issue. So unfortunately they hear climate and they'll say, no, we don't want anything in that left wing liberal stuff. But for some reason, plastic, for example, is a bridge. Different from where I'm from in Cancer Alley in Louisiana. Plastic means my people die because of petrochemicals. But for Theo Vaughn and Joe Rogan's and their group, plastic for them in the manosphere means, which is true, that men's penises or their junk gets smaller. So for some reason that gets them, I can't say excited, but I would say it gets them thinking about what it would be like to be excited. I'll let that joke sit there for a minute. But my thing here, to your point, that builds the bridge, right? We're in a moment now where we have to not be just revolutionary, but we have to be solutionary. So I think if that builds the bridge, then we have to do that. And we're fighting, because the one thing about this is that we're not just creating movies just so we can look at. We're creating movies to inspire, but we're also creating movies that may be just a record for humanity, so that when we are no longer here, they may just get that in their gas masks, in their shelters, in their bunkers in 21, 25. And they may just be like, this is all that we got left. I saw that movie, but it doesn't look like that anymore. So I'll just say this, in the words of Tony K. Bambara: the role of the artist is to make the revolution irresistible. Beautiful.